Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of College Worship, kind of. Tonight, we're supposed to have pancake night because it's the end of the semester, but instead, we're going to eat pancakes here and just have a conversation. But at 8 p.m., just in a few minutes after this video, we'd love for you to join us on Instagram or Facebook, where we're going to actually do live pancake making. So comment then, and we'd love to see how you're making pancakes or how we can make virtual pancakes for you. We'll get there. Would someone like to pray us in?
I'll pray. Gracious God, we ask you to bless this mess that Vanna created for us, and we're just thankful, God, for the chance to be here and to celebrate, God, you and this community that surrounds us. And even though we're not all together, God, you are here with us right now, and you, God, are the thing that unites all of us together. God, bless this food to our bodies so that in all that we might do, we might glorify you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Now can we eat?
We can eat.
Okay.
So actually, I'm really
excited.
glad we're doing pancakes because I was with Kyle and the Copes and a few other, the Azels, like years ago when we started college pancakes, and it's like part of my routine to be there and to go. Like the semester doesn't actually end until we get the King Arthur flour pancakes to kick us off for the day. So this is good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Ruby, how has finals been? How is the end of the semester wrapping up?
You know, it's very different than what I expected for sure. I guess like whenever the semester started, I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like do everything like normal. And then we left for spring break, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll see all my friends whenever I come back and like go through classes and everything like normal. But then like that didn't happen, and so it's just been a super weird like transition to do everything online and like not see those people every day and like not have those study groups for your finals and all that kind of stuff that we expected to have. But for me personally, I've gotten super lucky with finals because my professors have been very nice, and I do not think I would be making these grades if we had not had this. So personally, school-wise, I'm kind of happy with this. So
do you get to see your grades before you decide pass or fail?
Oh yes, I took my tumbling final yesterday, my online tumbling final, and so I will be choosing that as pass-fail after I get the results back. But I think that I passed online tumbling, so
That is awesome.
I'm excited.
Oh gosh,
I'm a professional now.
So have you been able to like connect with other students while you're doing your finals, or while you're doing classes, or have y'all Zoomed together? Like, how's that worked?
We have Zoomed some. It's weird though because like there are people that you see like day to day in your classes, and then like you kind of get to know them, but you don't like know them super well. Yeah. And so I didn't realize how much I kind of liked having those like class friends, I guess, and even like the ones that are like closer than just class friends, I guess. But it's weird to like have to be more intentional about those friendships and those relationships. So like yes, some we've been getting together, but also like it's just weird to coordinate and like make that extra effort and that sort of thing. So yes and no, I guess.
So some people have been really worried about what happens if this just pushes college universities to online campus forever. And every student I've ever talked to has said, absolutely not. I don't ever want to do this again.
There's no way that.
No.
This is not the new normal.
Right. No, thank you.
Yeah. Mark, what's been like your biggest transition during this pandemic?
So I spent a lot of time in the main office up here, and I didn't really realize how much I spend in the main office. And so what I've noticed is now that I'm up here a little bit more often, like I'm going to the office and I'm like, oh, my box is full of stuff, because I usually do a really good job of keeping it like cleaned out.
Yeah.
And now I like walk in, I'm like, well, now I have a stack like Wilson. I'm just gonna leave it.
Called out.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, he gets stuff every day that goes in his box, so it's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And he's nice. He's nice enough to put some of that stuff in my box. So it really is kind of building. So like that's been a big change. And it kind of ties into like your not being able to be with your classmates, because in the same way, like because I am a face-to-face person, I really like to talk to people in the office, which are always in the main office basically, or in April's office or in Alicia's office, and all those conversations happen. So like now, like I have done. I don't think I've ever talked to you on the phone.
That's true. And now it's
Yeah,
like,
and I think we talk like every other day.
right,
Yeah.
twice a week. Three
Yeah,
times.
and you know, and that's the same for a lot of the staff members now.
Yeah.
And it's a big adjustment because
For sure.
like I don't find myself to be highly social, but now that I've been alone,
Oh, yeah.
I really need the socialness, and so I'm having to make up for it with talking on the phone. And then because we're not like right next to each other, and I can't just like run down the hall to go talk about how we're going to do a service, I actually have to like call and be intentional on the phone and things like that.
Yeah. What I have loved, though, for staff meetings is our daily check-ins, Monday through Thursday. I think those have really helped and be like, oh, like seeing staff members that I don't normally on a daily basis, I think is cool. To be able to pray together and talk about that. I think that builds a lot of community that I didn't think I needed, but like now having it has been pretty incredible. So, but again, that whole authenticity piece has been interesting. But I feel like I'm connecting way more with friends since everyone's at home, and so like friends around the world. It's been kind of fun just to be able to talk with them since we're all kind of doing this together. So
Yeah, my wife got on a Zoom call with all of her high school friends the other day.
has she talked to them ever, or like?
That's the thing. Someone said on the phone, like, I guess they weren't thinking, like, are you kidding? Like, why have we not done this before?
Yeah.
And so Kristen was like, because we would be at a soccer game, and Amy would be at a baseball game,
Yeah.
and Sarah would be at, gymnastic or whatever all of the things are, because there isn't time of the day to, like, connect like that, too. So I have no idea where my high school friends are to even call them on Zoom. So, like, I mean, she does a better job at keeping up better along the way. But, yeah, things have changed and how that goes.
For sure.
Yeah, there was this devotional that one of my friends, she's like shared with us, and we've been like all doing it together, and it's called The Joy of Missing Out. And so I thought that was like literally the perfect devotional to be doing right now, because like I get so caught up in like doing all of these things, but like I've found so much joy in like not having all of those commitments and like having time to do these random little things that I haven't done before.
Yeah.
Like I've been learning how to play the piano lately, which
Really?
is not very good. But
Wow.
it's been fun to
Still
like
trying, yeah.
try to
Yeah.
figure it out. I played the first Noel the other day, looking at adding 2 lines instead of 1 line.
Impressive.
Yeah, but it's been cool to like
Yeah.
try those new and different things that I've like wanted to do, but I've never
And there's an
actually
app for
done.
that now, too.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we're actually looking at it for the kids because, like, we can't take them to piano lessons, right? We were talking about starting that this spring, and we're like, so what do we do? Well, it turns out for $60 a year, you can do one child at a time, right? And they can go all the stuff that they want to. So William wants to learn to play the guitar, but Kristen threw down and said you have to learn how to play the piano before you learn to play the guitar. So because she wants him to learn both clefs.
I
So,
agree.
You can have a protege or something.
I wish that I had learned piano before I learned guitar.
Really?
Because now all I want to do is learn piano.
Yeah.
And
And there's a window, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, supposedly, now, my dad started playing piano this year, or I guess he's been playing for a little over a year.
Really? So he just started? I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
and never played before.
Wow.
And so now that he's been playing, I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty sure I can do it.
Ooh.
But
It's fine.
yeah, but like but like that's the thing. Like if it's supposed to be harder to learn piano when you're older, then I should be able to learn it.
Right.
I feel like I'm old and like I'm behind the ball, but like piano's so cool. Guitar's cool too, but piano's better.
Right. So my family, like back in the history of my family, they've all been big gardeners. My grandparents, when you walked in the backyard, they had like not 3 layers, 4 layers of plants in any direction that you would go. Like,
100%.
crazy.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, and I'm pretty notorious because I even talked about this in preaching about how I kill plants. I don't grow plants. But Carolyn, one of our members of our congregation, said, I have the perfect way for you to learn how to garden. And I said, what is it, Carolyn? She said, the whole goal is you plant a bunch of stuff and you see what lives. And she said, that's what makes you a good gardener. I'm like, okay, we're going to try it. So I planted a bunch of stuff and everything's lived so far. So I'm like, maybe I don't have a black thumb. Maybe like we have like hibiscuses that we planted. They like have a flower every day. Like I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool. Like who knew? But you have to be home to water them. That's the key.
Yeah.
Right. You have to weed.
So the pandemic is helping your gardening. So,
It is
yeah.
helping, right. Now, when all it goes back to normal or whatever the new normal is,
Right.
then you start to ask the question of, I might be a bad gardener again because I'm not going to be there to water the
know.
plants. So.
Yeah, my kale is going pretty strong right now. I've got
Is
a
it?
few pepper plants too. Oh yeah.
We took a walk on campus the other day. There's kale planted everywhere on the north side. Like by the All Faiths Chapel, there's huge kale plants by Sabisa. Ironically, I'm sure that's like homegrown food at Sabisa. So I mean, it made me feel a little bit better about my experience there. Yeah, it was good. But yeah, they're really pretty. Like kale plants are beautiful. They're all purple and stuff. So anyway, gardening 101. We got into it a
Right.
little
Yeah. Thanks, man.
bit. Yeah, it's a pancake dinner. We talk about everything.
Right. Yeah.
I claim to grow blackberries, but the truth is the neighborhood birds planted them, and they grow on their own.
Yeah.
I just pick them.
Right. Not a big deal.
We'll go on like family walks though to walk our dog because our dog is super cute and we like to take her on walks. And so
And she would destroy the house if you don't take her.
Oh yes, that is also very true. That's
the
the key part of this.
Right.
But whenever we're walking, like all along the road, especially by like this one creek, there'll just be like all of these blackberry bushes, and so we've been picking them gradually. And we said we were gonna save them and actually make like blackberry jelly. Currently, we've just been eating all of them, so I don't know if that'll happen. But it's been really cool to just like go berry picking. I feel like a hunter gatherer or something.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
But then you get the wrong blackberry.
I know, right?
And like
Yeah.
your face just turns into
Right.
like.
Well, we've all seen the Hunger Games too.
Right.
I don't pick any sort of berries
That's right.
anywhere for that reason.
Oh yeah.
What is it, Nightlock or something?
Yeah, it's
Not
something.
that it
Yeah.
even exists, but I
Oh
feel like
my
every
gosh.
berry is just poisonous.
You never know. In Texas, it's more like you go through the poison ivy to get
Right, yeah, that's
the blackberries, and yeah.
Oh yeah.
So what does it look like for you guys now that kind of the city state is kind of being reopened? Are you guys venturing out now or going to your local restaurants, or what is that kind of?
I've noticed there's a lot more traffic. A lot more traffic. And the city hasn't even reopened yet. And there's so much more traffic this week.
It's not even Friday.
Yeah. Yeah. And I I've been noticing, right when the state went on lockdown or stay at home, that like there wasn't even a lot of like police cars on rotation. Because since working at the church, we're still out here. We're driving up here to record things and fix stuff and keep the maintenance going.
Right.
But like, I'm used to seeing like 3 police officers on my way because I drive down Welborn
And Northgate alone.
yeah, and that's where they all are, and so then I haven't really seen any. And then this week it's like back to normal, except the traffic's not near as bad. But to me, it feels bad because there's been nobody on the road.
Yeah.
Right at Caulfield, it's when it turns to 35 miles an hour on Welborn. And when I saw the police officer show up there again this week on Sunday,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, the world is starting to wake up again. Right, here we go. Yep, we're going to keep the 35 miles an hour by Caulfield. Yep. Yeah, I think it's hard for us at the church because we are still like in this constant conversation, right? And that's
sure,
what we
yeah.
keep talking about is our whole goal since day one. I mean, we even closed before other churches too because we're really in tune with like John Wesley's do no harm, right? We really want to make sure we keep people safe.
For sure.
And when we talk about at-risk community, especially at first we thought it was just folks that were in the retired range, but now we realize there's all kinds of people that are immunocompromised in life. I mean, whether they've had cancer before, whether they've had pneumonia before, there's all kinds of things that make them at risk for that. And so we've had a few members in the church experience COVID in their families, and of course we've been praying really hard for them. And so at this point we're just monitoring everything and see. The bishop came out with the other day a letter that said he really doesn't want any Methodist churches in the conference opening until June.
Yeah.
And so while it's our decision, we're just trying to watch everything and see what happens because nobody wants to be together more than if I have to preach to another empty room.
It's so true though.
Like it's so nice.
Anyone, it's-
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I am not built for this.
Yeah.
When God made Preston, like he said he has to have lots of people around him, not just 2. So anyway, it's just nice to eat with people again, right? Like but we've had good times with the family and like being around the family table too. So I mean, there's been a lot of blessings in this, but we're ready for church to happen. But I just have to make sure we're kind of safe and
For sure.
yeah, keep people safe. We've got these crazy restrictions right now about do you do every other pew? How do you keep people 6 feet apart? How do you put the cleaning positions. Like basically the whole staff's going to turn into a janitorial crew whenever we start back up again. Can you even find Clorox wipes somewhere to wipe down
I
afterwards?
did at HEB this morning.
How many did you find?
Huh?
How
Oh,
many?
they had the whole like row
Really?
of them, and I was like,
Okay.
okay. It said limit 2 per customer, so I was like,
All right.
I do like 2 transactions, I get 4.
Well,
so,
if we
like,
send every
actual-
church member, and then we might have enough, right, to get church started again. Yeah.
right. But yeah, I think it's just how does the city, how does this church kind of wake up again? Almost kind of what you're saying, when we would love for it to be this like bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, like let's go and do all the things, but it's almost this slow. How do we be patient and really think this through?
So my dad helps run a chemical plant. He's been doing it for 40 years. And it's really funny that this is actually the same thing. Shutting off the switch is really easy, but starting everything back up takes weeks and lots
That's
of
good.
money and lots of effort. And so it'll be the same for the economy. It's just trying to figure out what's the safest way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I guess I didn't realize how much of an extrovert I actually am. I always think of myself as being like, I'm more of an introvert, but I can be an extrovert sort of thing.
We don't see you as an introvert. Don't worry. Nobody around this table actually
Well,
sees you
this
that way.
has made me realize that I definitely like need people and that sort of thing. And so like even today, like whenever April walked into the office, I got so excited. I was like, people, I haven't seen like new people besides like my like family and that sort of thing. And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like we get to see people again. And so I'm just like really, really excited. I mean, yes, there's a lot of like what ifs and that sort of thing, but like we're finally like getting to like form that like in-person community again to an extent, and I'm super pumped.
Yeah.
For sure. They feel like real people now.
Yeah, for real.
Just
not
like
a
someone on screen.
Yeah, looked at so many screens lately. I'm tired of looking at screens.
Right.
Or telling someone to unmute themselves on Zoom.
Right.
So we can actually hear what they're saying.
Oh yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So in the Greenwald family news, the dog ate the second thing off of the counter, and she stole my steak sandwich yesterday.
Is that going to make the sermon on Sunday?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to today's Wednesday, so we're in deep formation mode right now. I'll know by Saturday night what's going to make the sermon or not.
Yeah.
But it has definitely added to. It also added to is that, and this may make the sermon on Sunday, I got cut off at Chick-fil-A yesterday, and I was so angry. Like, we're supposed to all be in this together. Like, we're supposed to like be helping each other. And the lady told me follow the gold car. And Home Dog came in from the side, and he was like inching up on the person. I'm like, no, this is COVID. Everybody's supposed to love Jesus in COVID, right? You're
Or just
supposed to
be
act
nice.
like a Christian.
Be kind.
Unbelievable. Oh, yeah, I was not happy.
There's still depravity in this world.
Something's going to make the sermon this Sunday. That's what I'm 100% sure of.
So our cat has a problem with jumping up on like the countertops and everything. And so yesterday during dinner, my mom was like, girls, did y'all remember to turn off the burner? And my dad was like, nah, let's just leave it on. Teach that cat a lesson. So maybe that's what you need to do with your dog.
Okay, good.
No more jumping on
Leave
the
it at the
counter.
cast iron still if it's so hot. No. That does not sound like that is on, like, I'm pretty sure that we would get in trouble for that. So, yeah, no, we do care about the dog. We have different feelings for dogs and cats in our house too, though. So.
Yeah.
Oh my. Yeah, no, it's definitely, I'm ready. Like, I'm feeling it. And, you know, it's interesting. Some lady told me one time, because when I go home after being at church, I have to have about an hour of quiet time. Like, I go straight up introvert. And so I asked one of my coaches, kind of leadership coaches in life, I said, hey, does that mean that I've got some introvert in me? And she goes, everybody has introvert in them, and everybody has extrovert in them. Right. The thing is how much it's introvert, extrovert is just the scale of what you need. So everybody needs their own quiet time, and everybody needs their people time.
Right.
What COVID's done is it's reminded everybody we all have some extrovert in us.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
It just depends on how much.
Right.
The problem is I'm going to be with people for like, you know, to balance this off for like probably 12 weeks straight.
Right,
You know,
yeah.
just like not sleeping just to make up for
Right.
you know all the people we've missed. So anyway.
Yeah. I feel like I've almost thrived in this like social isolation and quarantine because I can get so much done because no one's like coming in the office or no like random conversations. Everything is very intentional. So it's
Right.
I stay on my computer for 8 hours and I'm like, oh gosh, what just happened? Like it's 5 o'clock. It's done.
So you don't like people just going into your office and talking to you because they don't want to talk on the phone?
Hey Mark, what's going on?
I'm not a licensed professional counselor, but I know some that we can send both y'all to talk about this issue. We got some in the church. They're very good. They're very good.
No, I think it's just been nice in this season just to almost like take a break from just the chaos and crazy. So I was church planting in Michigan before this, and then kind of went straight into this kind of college ministry, back to school fall semester. And so the pandemic like gave me this rest that I didn't know I needed until kind of you slow down and realize like, oh man, I have been going so hard for the past months, years. And to be able to kind of live in that, I think has been really great, at least for me, to understand my limits as a human and what that looks like. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's made me super hyper aware of how much the church is the people. Like that little children's song. Like there's so much we can't do right now because it really is based on people.
Yeah.
And we just can't be with each other like we normally are. Sure. And the thing is that that's part of, I actually find rest when I'm with people, right? That's part of what makes me who I am. And like that being gone has been really, really hard. Yeah. But I've also been super productive on all the things that I've had a list of for 5 years. Right. Like I read a book the other day that was on my list for 5 years to read, right? Yeah. You know, it wasn't even that good. So I guess I wasn't missing out on that much, but you know, I was like, but I wanted to read it, dang it. And but yeah, so I mean like it'll be great to go back in with new tools, for sure. Some rest. Right. Some new just like concepts I've just thought about, like what can we do? We found new ways to do ministry here. Yeah. We're reaching thousands more people than we ever have before. For sure. And we continue to keep reaching people. Yeah. You know, I think the both and that we found in church in this has been one of God's great gifts to the world. For sure. Is for us to reimagine what God's church is. Yeah. With people though. Right. You know, like I mean 100%. Like that.
As much as I loved being in isolation, I'm ready.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. It'll be a fun run.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely some good things have come out of this time. But like, you know, the majority of my week pre-spring break and COVID was I do a lot of maintenance on equipment and a lot of talking in the main office to people and helping dream and thinking about what's next and this being at home and having and being intentional about spending less time up here is that I've been able to work on the more creative part of my job and the more creative part of the church, like generating content and helping other ministries generate content that they haven't had the time for or had the ability to do. And so it's been good for me to be at home and have that set up. And, you know, because like before all this, I really didn't spend that much time in my office. I had a desk, I had a nice setup, but I was never up there because I spend all my time down here. And now I have my home office and I have my desk and I have all my screens and my computer and I can sit down there and I can work solid and make things happen that I would have never made the time for before. Yeah.
So the question will be, how do you keep rhythms that were helpful during this? And how do you let go of things that weren't? Yeah. Right? Because there's also been things that have not been helpful about being home. I mean, it's also made us question and be in fear and doubt and wonder. And that's the hard part, right? Is that like, I've got to let go of some of that. Right. and that's the deal.
Yeah. Good thing that we have a little bit more time to wake up and re-enter this. Yeah. How have those pancakes been?
They were good.
They're solid. Yeah.
I'm not sure they're King Arthur flour though. Were they King Arthur flour?
Oh, I'm not going to tell you the recipe. You have to watch Kyle Ross's video to know that. But we just want to thank you guys for watching this kind of pancakes and conversation about COVID. We hope to see you next week on another episode of College Worship. Good luck on finals, and we'll see you soon.